Hello and welcome to another edition of California CEO City Update. I'm your host, Dwight Cromie. Today we're talking with Murrieta Mayor Rick Gibbs and Peter Baker, the administrator of Loma University's Medical Center, Murrieta. As the region grows, so does the demand for medical services. And to make this happen, the City of Murrieta and the Medical Center are working together to attract medical professionals to southwest Riverside County. Welcome, Mayor.
It's a pleasure being here, Dwight.
Nice seeing you, Peter. Nice meeting you. Mayor, the City of Murrieta for a long time has really had a goal of becoming the medical hub or medical research city for the southwest Riverside County. And you've attracted Loma University Medical Center. Can you tell me what it took to bring Loma to the City of Murrieta, and what were some of the obstacles?
Murrieta was motivated to increase the availability of healthcare in the Southwest County region. I had the good fortune of meeting Dr. John Piccone, who is a local urologist practicing in the City of Murrieta. I met him probably at the end of 2006, and in 2007 we started working closely together for the idea was a doctor's hospital. Dr. Piccone had already begun discussions with Loma University Medical Center in the city of Loma, and he brought the then CEO, Ruthita Fike, into Murrieta. We had a meeting with Ms. Fike. It was a breakfast meeting, and we talked about what the art of the possible was. And perhaps one of the relevant questions that I asked Ms. Fike was, if you were to build a hospital here and really think medical center, who would you imagine? What would you imagine your neighbors would be like? And she gave us some ideas, and that became the genesis of what became our office research park zoning. Attracting Loma here really was quite easy, because at the time Loma was really thinking about the ability to expand beyond the city of Loma, to be able to have a place where interns and residents could begin their practices in a hospital setting, but not quite as a dynamic setting as in Loma, the city of Loma. And so both sides were motivated. The issues really became how quickly can you get us through the process? Because everything revolves around the OSHPD, which is the Office of Safety and Health Planning Directorate for the state of California. And there was a limited amount of time that Loma had to be able to put together their paperwork package. As it turned out, when we had the first meeting of the staffs with Loma staffs as well, there was 6 months left to get everything done. And so the way we got everything done is we made Loma the number one priority in the city of Murrieta. And so that was the beginning of a relationship to this day. It has been a wonderful, productive relationship that has greatly increased the amount of beds in southwest Riverside County, increased the number of specialty physicians in southwest Riverside County. And as Peter, I'm sure, will tell you, he can give you the stats, but the amount of surgeries that have been able to be done in southwest Riverside County versus being transported out of the area increased exponentially.
On that topic, Peter, in Riverside County, I've been in here for 30 years now. Some of the cities are easy to work with, some are not. What was your experience in working with the city of Murrieta? Did they, the mayor kind of explained what they went and did, but from your perspective, how easy was the city of Murrieta to work with, and how much did they want you?
Thank you. One of the things we like to brag about is when we built our hospital, at the time we considered that the state would tell us that it was the fastest built hospital in the state of California, probably in the last 10 or 15 years. One of the reasons for that was because of our relationship with the city. The city was proactive, engaged, 100% supportive of the development of the program, helping to help expedite the development, the services there, helping us get our permits, and working with the state and federal governments on making sure we could open as quickly as possible. And so We have been thrilled to be able to be in Murrieta, but most importantly, our relationship with the City of Murrieta has made it so that we've been successful much quicker than we thought we'd otherwise would have been in our projections had. On top of that, one of the things I've loved about the City of Murrieta is how proactive they are, focused on business, and the amount of engagement they've involved us in other opportunities, building relationships with other institutions and medical providers that we otherwise didn't have. And one of the benefits beyond just their help with our facility is helping to really build a climate for healthcare innovation. And really that's been something we've really appreciated and is driving the future, I think, for Southwest Riverside County and healthcare in that community.
With that said, healthcare is changing, as we know, and I think one of the benefits of Loma Linda being in Southwest Riverside County was there was nothing there. I mean, it was really lacking the medical services that not only this region, but Southwest Riverside County really needed. Can you tell me, either one of you, how do you see the healthcare landscape changing, and what do you see for its future? Go ahead, Peter.
Absolutely. Healthcare is changing in many regards. I'd say a couple I will touch on. One is the need for physicians. That's something we're focusing on significantly at Murrieta. The practice of medicine is changing. Physicians are living a more holistic lifestyle, and as such, it's a much more balanced lifestyle, which we support. That being said, there's not as many physician providers in our community as we would prefer, and that's one of the challenges Southwest Riverside region faces. How do we get more providers in this community? And that's something, because of that, we see significant increase oftentimes in our emergency department, because patients can't oftentimes get an appointment quickly, so they use our emergency department as their primary care physician. And that's not really the long-term sustainable model we think is ideal. So one of the things we're excited about is working with the city about attracting more physicians to our community and higher level of physicians, so that hopefully more of our patients can stay here. I think the other thing is there's a fair amount of consolidation that's going on in healthcare, and we're trying to find ways to collaborate more with physicians, collaborate more with patients on developing streamlined services, as well as providing more of a one-stop shop for their healthcare services, so they don't have to travel 45 minutes to an hour to other locations to get their healthcare, but can have it all in one place. So those are a couple of things we're focused on and are excited to develop.
Well, with that being said, Mayor, I think one thing, the city's got quite a bit to offer young physicians as far as a lifestyle, and I know the city's growing, but I think from what I understand, the city is also aggressively looking at, as Peter was saying, expanding services to specialty services. What is the city doing or trying to do to attract these young physicians?
Well, we're part of the Riverside County Health Center task force that is looking to ways to attract young physicians to the area. If you're, let's say you're an orthopedic specialist at Loma Linda, in the city of Loma Linda, you're a world-renowned surgeon, and you have a great practice in Loma Linda, why do you want to come down to Marietta? And what we have to convince those surgeons is that there's already a need. You may not decide to move to Marietta, but to be able to make your services available for surgeries at the Loma Linda University Medical Center in Marietta, that would create the ability for folks who, say, would have to go up to the main campus to be able to have that surgery, let's say it's a rotator cuff surgery, to have that surgery done in one day in Marietta, and then instead of having to take an hour and a half car trip home after your surgery, you can be home in 5 or 10 minutes. So it's incumbent upon the city of Marietta to work together with hospital providers, to work together with the county, and ensure that we have an adequate number of physician resources. As Mr. Baker alluded to, there's a crying need for doctors in our area. We suffer from a lack of general practitioners. We have specialists in many areas, but the first entry level into the medical community for what ails you, that's really with your primary care physician. And we need to do a better job of attracting primary care physicians to our region. And just to highlight the word region, we talk about the City of Murrieta, but the Loma Linda Hospital is a regional hospital. People are coming to that hospital literally from all over southern Riverside County and including from northern San Diego County. So we have to look at it from a regional perspective and look upon what the healthcare needs of the region are.
Peter, with the growth that's going on with Southwest Riverside County, where do you see, or what do you see for the future for Loma Linda? I mean, I know Kaiser's going in down the street from you, but I think that's probably a good thing overall, just to attract more physicians. But where do you see Loma Linda University Medical Center 5-10 years down the road?
Absolutely. Well, I think there's definitely going to be a couple things. Things we've done recently, we see that the demand of growth in the area, which puts a lot of strain on our emergency department. One of the things we've done is expanded that about 25%, added about 6 more bays for our emergency department to hopefully help with some of the need from all these people that are coming to Murrieta. And the surrounding communities. One of the things we also recognize is people like to get their health care close to home. So we're going to have to attract higher level of physicians and higher level of care to hopefully get as much of their care locally. Another thing we recognize is oftentimes patients do better when they are close to their family. And we recognize that that's important. So we have to add those services, things we're doing. We are building a neonatal intensive care unit. Hopefully that will attract more of our patients to stay locally and get their care and services here locally. Things we see, this community, people in the community continue to travel out for is cancer services. And that's something that we've been working with the city on. We've been working with the regional Southwest Riverside Cancer Task Force on addressing because we feel we've got some exceptional physicians here, and unfortunately, we've got some exceptional treatment options. And so we're working on attracting more of those, but also informing the public about that these services are here locally, and that when you do need some type of chemotherapy or other type of treatment, traveling 45 minutes or an hour every day to receive that may not be in the best interest. And we need to fill that gap, provide those services locally, and with their families and friends around to hopefully ensure they get the best care and hopefully treatment very quickly. So those are some of the areas we're focusing on. We think those are important, but definitely continue to build our infrastructure is going to be essential as our community expands.
And it's my understanding Murrieta is aggressively trying to support Loma Linda University by bringing in and attracting other types of medical offices and treatment facilities. Can you talk a little bit about that, Mayor? What other things are you currently attracting to the region?
I'll go well beyond the question. And I'm going to tell you that only a couple days ago, the City Council approved a Genomics Lab that is going to be operating in the Murrieta Innovation Center, our old City Hall. And the space that they're going to be using actually is the Loma Linda University Medical Center Murrieta space. That we talked about this with Mr. Baker and with staff, and we all thought that this was a really good idea to have the first genomics lab in all of Southwest Riverside County located at the Innovation Center. And one of the questions you asked earlier was about the changes in modern medicine, and what you're also seeing, not just in the future, but happening right now, is a switch to personalized medicine, where you literally take the patient's DNA and you can actually test the DNA with different treatment options in the laboratory and hopefully come up with the best treatment option for that particular person as an individual. And so I think part of what we need to do together is to ensure that we attract the researchers to this area that can help both Loma Linda, the hospital, that can help Loma Linda's patients, can help all of the folks in this region who unfortunately might have a cancer themselves or have a family member with cancer. But what we do need to do is to make sure that we can treat all of the cancer patients in this region to the best of our ability. Because as Mr. Baker alluded to, after you've had a chemo treatment, the last thing you want to do is take an hour or 2-hour car ride to get home.
It's exciting to hear the changes that are going on. But again, I go back, this will be my final question, which is the million-dollar question. How do we go about attracting these young physicians, not only from our region, but maybe across the country? I'm sure there are physicians that don't want to deal with the terrible weather that they have back east. How do we reach out to those young physicians or practicing physicians to attract them to this region and attract them to the city of Murrieta? What are some of the things that we can do, not only as a city or as Loma Linda, what can we do as a region to attract those individuals?
Well, some years ago, Dr. Olds, who was the first dean of the UCR 4-year medical school, he said the answer is you grow your own. That the chances are that where a doctor completes his internship and residency is where he's probably going to practice. So we're lucky in one respect that the Loma Linda main campus is a medical school. We're lucky in another respect that UCR is now just recently graduated their first 4-year class. And so we're hoping that we can get those doctors to do internships and residencies right here in Marietta, that they can see what the needs of the community are and how those needs match up with their particular skills. And they can see the ability that they will have to create their own business opportunities or to give medical care and treatment in this region.
And from Loma Linda's perspective, I know it's a tough question, but what are you doing to try to keep these students here and attract others?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I like to share is when I meet with physicians almost on a daily basis who are interested in coming to Marietta. My personal opinion is it's not a hard sell. It's more about awareness. When I talk to these physicians, I share about the outstanding schools we've got in Marietta, when I talk about the low crime rate, when I talk about all the activities that there are and the quality of life, it is a very easy sell. And once we get a chance to show them Marietta, it's very easy for them to make the decision, and the excitement they have is very high. I think what we have is, Marietta, Temecula still is a growing community, and awareness of it is one of the things we still have to continue to drive is that we're here, we're an outstanding place to be, and I think once we meet and they see, oftentimes it's a very easy decision for them to choose our community. So I think just keep doing what we're doing and just raising a little bit more awareness on it. Building up some of our infrastructure as far as some of our training programs and our healthcare infrastructure, we're going to have some of the best physicians. I'm confident in the future and some of the best healthcare in Southern California very quickly.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Peter. Nice meeting you. Thank you, Mayor, again. Great topic. Hopefully we can follow this up in the next couple of months. Great. The relationship between Loma Linda University Medical Center and the city of Murrieta is a shining example of what positive relationships can develop. Thank you for watching this edition of California CEO's City Update. I'm Dwight Cromie.